What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Who You Got with
Melo.
and Rado. It's a sports podcast where we talk your favorite sports debates, sports highlights, and sports matchups. And if you guys are watching with us today, please go ahead and click that like button below and make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for doing so, and make sure you guys follow us on social media. We're everywhere. Wherever you guys want to follow us, TikTok, Instagram. You can find us on Facebook as well, Who You Got Podcast. And if you guys want to just listen to the podcast throughout, whenever you're on your drive or maybe at work, definitely go ahead and check us out. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. You can just type in Who You Got Podcast. You can find us there. Or if you just want to find that one place where you can find everything, Melo, tell them about that.
You already know what it is. You could just go to www.whoyougotpodcast.com. We got the blogs, we got the podcast, we got the merch, we got the videos from our lives. Pretty much everything you need. Also, ways to contact us if you aren't too prone with our social medias. But either way, that's a one-stop shop where everything you need, we're gonna have it.
Exactly. And of course, you can always find us on our personal social media pages as well. If you guys want to check us out there, I'm at the Iconic Dude on Instagram. Hello.
Melo the
Of
Notorious.
course. And we got a really good topic for you guys this weekend. It's not just a topic, it's a top matchup, right, Melo?
Oh yes. This week we are going to be predicting and pretty much reviewing the upcoming fight. It's a boxing match. It's been a while since we've done one of these,
Yes.
but we honestly couldn't skip this one. We got Caleb Plant and David Benavidez going up against each other 12 rounds for super middleweight, and this will actually be for the WBC super middleweight interim belt. Pretty much determining the winner of this goes on to fight
Canelo
Canelo Alvarez.
Alvarez. Exactly.
Exactly. So it's two elite boxers in a division. Two of them has held belts at this weight class, and honestly, like you said, it's gonna be a top matchup.
It's going to be a great matchup, and both these guys are very exciting to watch. And of course, boxing is going to have some great matchups this year, and this is definitely the first of many. Uh,
Hmm.
Benavidez, we haven't seen him in a whole year. It seems like more actually, like almost close to a year actually. And Plant,
No, both of them fought like once in 2022.
exactly, and it was literally like around this time in 2022. So it's pretty much been a year for both of these guys. So we're itching to see both of these guys fight again, and I know it's going to be an exciting matchup. Definitely ready to talk about this one. Who you got for this matchup, bro? This is going to be very exciting. The middleweight matchup, and like you said, whoever wins goes on to probably fight Alvarez. So this is definitely huge. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, I mean, this is like we said, top of the top. Both of these fighters have great records. Benavidez is undefeated, 26-0. Plant comes in at 22-1. His only loss being against Canelo Alvarez when Canelo dropped down to 168 and kind of took all the belts from everyone, or 158 and took all the belts from
That was
everyone.
unfair. He shouldn't have done that.
It was. But at the end of the day, both of these men have touched gold.
Yeah.
Like we just explained, the IBF did belong to Plant before he lost to Canelo, and Benavidez actually held the WBC belt twice. First time he won it, lost it due to a positive drug test that was for cocaine, and the second time, when he finally got it again, he lost it the next fight due to not
Not
making
making
weight.
weight. Yeah,
Uh,
that's right.
so definitely got, like I said, undefeated fighter. So it seemed like his biggest obstacle was himself. And then another fighter in Caleb who's a little bit more experienced and obviously has a good resume under his belt. So I definitely do think that this is going to be a great fight. A lot of people got it as one-sided, and they all have a very high favorite. And I'll be honest, not something I agree with.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be one sided. I definitely don't think it's gonna be one sided. I think it's gonna be a great fight. I mean, both of these fighters are like legit all stars. Like they've been fighting for so long, and like you said, only one blemish on Caleb Plant's record, and that's the champion, middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez. So, I mean, really, both of these guys, they fought top competition as well, going up the ranks. I know early in their career, people were saying that Benavidez was taking like some easy fights, but I think most boxers do. Early in their career,
Yeah.
they usually do. So I really don't think that way of him. And with Plant, he has been definitely taking the big fights lately in his career, and he's been stepping up when other guys haven't wanted to fight, and he's been stepping in for other guys as well. So he's definitely a type of guy that's ready for anything and ready to fight anybody. And I think this one is definitely going to be exciting for a lot of reasons. I don't think it's going to be a one-sided matchup either. I think that definitely the betting favorite is Benavidez, but Plant could definitely do work. I mean, Caleb Plant, he's a lot wider than Benavidez. If you see his stance and his body, he just is. He has a lot more speed than him. That's one thing that you're gonna have to watch in this fight, because the way that Benavidez moves is he moves up
Yeah.
and down a lot. He likes to take big steps forward, and he does like to close out on the opponent. But the way that Caleb Plant is, he does like to move around the ring a lot more than Benavidez does. So it is going to be interesting there.
I mean, like, I think the reason why, I mean, from paper, I guess you might think, with the power Benavidez has, it's just, 23 knockouts and 26 wins.
Exactly.
It's just he pretty much breaks everyone
Yep.
down. But like you said, it's the speed and the movement for Caleb Plant, and that is definitely going to play a very big part in how this fight plays out. It's a fight of style of contrast. You got a person who, like you said, the big steps forward. David loves to apply that constant pressure. He's a power puncher, so he's gonna hit you a lot of volume. Just try to keep just getting in your face, disrupting what your game plan is, try to make you fight at his
Yep.
pace. But Caleb Plant is not gonna really fall for that. At least I don't think so. I do believe that he's an experienced boxer, and if anything, he's shown that he can withstand someone trying to break him down. I actually think I was very impressed in his loss to
I
Canelo
was too.
Alvarez
That's a good point.
on what he was able to do. He gave Canelo some trouble for the first couple rounds, and that's honestly what he's known to do for a lot of
I'll be
fighters.
honest, not just the
Um,
first couple of rounds. If you watch that fight back, I mean, going through like most of the round up to round 9, it was a close fight. It was a close fight. It wasn't Canelo wasn't winning like 9-0. It was actually like closer to 5-4 if you look at it. Going to the ninth round. Obviously he got knocked out in the 11th, but definitely going into that ninth, it was very close.
I mean, at the end of the day, you got not only one of the best fighters of all time, but the best fighter in our generation, or in this generation, pretty much after Floyd, pretty much breaking him down for those 11 rounds. But he showed that he had those angles. He used his jab to keep that distance. He has great hip movement, great footwork, and those are pretty much all the skills he's going to have to use against Benavidez. So it's honestly going to be about who can get their style to overcome the other. They're both gonna do what they do
Mm-hmm.
best, which is apply pressure, and the other one move around the ring
True.
against that
True.
pressure. So at the end of the day, they're both actually gonna be in their proper wheelhouses,
Mm-hmm.
doing what they are supposed to do and what they're most comfortable doing. It's just gonna be in what the end result's gonna be. Is it gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
decision? Is it gonna be close? Or are they gonna, pretty much out IQ and outbox each other throughout the rounds? Or what some people expect is Benavidez' power eventually gonna find a way to sneak in there through those 12 rounds, kind of like how Canelo's did, and find a way to
Eventually
kind
it
of slow
did,
him.
yeah. Eventually that power did find its way to hit that chin. But the one thing about Plant is he does like to keep distance with his fighters. He loves using that left jab just to keep his distance. He puts it forward there so people don't get close to him. But the crazy thing is both of these guys are orthodox fighters, so they're both going to be using that left jab a lot. And Benavidez is really good with the left jab and left hook. And he loves to use body shots way more than Caleb Plant does. Benavidez loves to use body shots. He loves to hit you in the body. When Caleb Plant does it, he usually hits you in the body like a little bit higher up, closer to the chest. But Benavidez goes all over. He'll go to the sides. He'll go to the chest. He's gonna move forward a lot in this fight. I definitely see him controlling the ring in this fight, and his combos are where you gotta watch him, because Benavidez definitely has the faster combinations. I did say that Plant is the faster fighter on the feet, but when you look at hand speed, the faster fighter is Benavidez. Like his hand speed is ridiculous. He has some of the most dazzling combinations that I've seen, and I definitely think that's going to be a good thing for him in this fight. Now Plant is definitely going to have to mix it up. I think he's going to have to switch up the way he maybe his I don't know necessarily his stances, but the way he moves around the ring, he's gonna have to switch up because he does like to go side to side, and the way the Benavidez is just gonna keep moving him forward, keep moving him forward, kind of pushing him towards the end of the ring. I do see him, kind of holding control. So the only way that Plant is gonna be able to take control is if he starts really utilizing that speed, moving around a lot. He's gonna have to definitely, hopefully, get him tired more. Because one thing about Benavidez we haven't really seen him finish off fights like that. Like you said, he's got 23 knockouts, but he hasn't really gone the distance with many fighters, which is a good thing and a bad thing because once you get to those later rounds, you might get a little tired. But I do think that power is something else for Benavidez, though.
No, the power is definitely going to be trouble for Plant, along with the reach.
Yeah.
Benavidez do have the longer reach, but I think you are wrong about the hand speed.
Mm.
There's a reason why Caleb Plant's called Sweet Hands.
He is called Sweet Hand, but them combos though.
That's what I'm saying. So Benavidez,
Combos.
he don't really throw lengthy combos because he likes to throw power. So he might throw a 1-2 or a 1-2-3 and throw heavy on the 2 or 3. But Caleb Plant will literally piece you up. And just like you said, Benavidez is going to continue with the pressure. That might work against him because at the end of the day, Caleb Plant is one fighter that can kind of get in your head and kind of mess up and frustrate Benavidez with him trying to apply that pressure because just that fancy footwork and that hip movement, being able to dodge out the way.
Sure.
Constant pressure, while it's going to be a weapon and needs to be a weapon for Benavidez, can be something that can be used against him if it's used in the wrong way. So that is something to where I actually think Caleb, I don't think speed, but I think this fight is going to really have to be because he's going to have to keep Benavidez guessing and has to make sure his timing is on all fight to make sure that he can need to but stay out that range when he has to. Be excruciating if he gets hit. I mean, he's going to get hit, but if he gets hit with that one punch.
Yeah, no, I mean that is gonna be that's gonna be the biggest issue is if he gets hit with that, especially a few. I'm telling you, those combinations are fast though. Don't get it twisted. Like Benavidez's combinations are fast. I mean, Sweet Hands, he's fast too. Like, but he loves using that jab first, and you can tell when he starts out a combo. Caleb Plant when he uses that left jab, and then he'll start going with the right. But with Benavidez, you definitely can't really figure him out. He loves to switch up his hand movements. He loves to go above. He'll hit you in the head, for a whole round. Then he'll go straight to the body for a whole round. I think that's definitely an advantage for him. Plan's gonna have to try to keep his distance, like I said, and just use that jab. I'd see a lot of good left jabs from Benavidez and that left hook, which is lethal. He's definitely gonna use that. He's gonna try to hurt his body a lot. The way the Plant does get an advantage in this fight is if he clinches when they're close. I think that's definitely a way that he's gonna, be able to survive this fight. If he starts clinching and holds on for dear life and he doesn't let go, I definitely think that a few of these rounds he'll be able to survive and is gonna bring him onto the to the later rounds, which is going to help him out, I think. Because, like I said, I don't think we've seen Benavidez in those 9 to 12 rounds, the championship rounds, pretty much. So it's gonna be interesting, definitely. But I do think that the body shots that the Benavidez puts on him and the jabs, I do think that you're gonna have Plant drop at least once in this fight. He's gonna get dropped at least once. I'm not sure when. It's gonna be after the 6th round, and after that, I do think that both of these guys are gonna start up in the ante a little bit, getting that energy up for sure. I will say that I do have problems with Plant with his hands. When he's holding his hands out, he doesn't always hold them up in his face. He likes to hold them towards the body, and when people are throwing like jabs at him, he just likes to move his head pretty much. So I got a problem with his defense sometimes. I'm gonna have to watch that in this fight, but it's gonna be interesting in those later rounds, man. So let's get to it. Who you got for this one?
For me, it's honestly I started off with one fighter, and then I really just wanted to do some digging, get my research. And it's funny because it's one of those things where I started off with one pick, and by the time I got to the episode, I actually don't think I'm gonna pick him.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, the power, explosiveness, the volume, and honestly the chin behind Benavidez. But you got the experience, the IQ, the speed, the movement, and the footwork behind
Yep.
Caleb.
That's true.
Both fighters in a very dangerous spot right now. By dangerous, I mean as in what they know is up for and what for grabs with this fight. So they know what this fight mean. Um,
100%.
Benavidez definitely is a favorite for a good reason. Um, he obviously 23 knockouts. Everyone understand what he brings to the table. But I do think that he is not going to be able to cut off the ring as efficient as everyone think he is. And while still right now, my mind's probably telling me not to pick uh, what I want to pick. I got this going to decision for Caleb Plant.
Wow. Decision for Plant going
I
against the
he has
odds.
to knock out Benavidez. Granted, he did get a knockout win on his comeback fight after Canelo lost. But he is the perfect fighter that has a strategy to break down David Benavidez, frustrate him on his movement, use his angles to affect that pressure, and pretty much not allow him to cut off the ring like you do with most other fighters.
Hmm.
I do got this going deep into late rounds. It's going to be a close fight. Caleb Plant's going to win most of the first six. Um, he is going to start slowing down, taking some pressure, pretty much 6 to 10. But 11 to 12 is the championship rounds, and we'll see how he comes back. I don't think Benavidez has the energy to really put on a strong show that late, and Caleb Plant just has to have a few strong rounds to end it out, and he could pull out the win. It might not even be unanimous; it could be majority. I think it's going to be an extremely close fight, closer than most people are thinking. But I think Caleb Plant has the skills and the IQ to pull this one out.
That's good analysis. Great analysis, actually. And I do agree with you then that I think it's going to be closer in certain rounds than people think. I believe that this fight is going to be very similar to how we saw the Caleb Plant and Canelo fight. How you saw it was pretty close. Those first few rounds, it was very close. You didn't know who was winning. You really didn't. It's gonna be like that the first few rounds. I could see Benavidez and Plant kind of feeling each other out, especially Benavidez. He doesn't like starting out fast at all. The first round, he literally likes to just check with his left hook. With his left jab, and he'll keep you at distance, just trying to figure you out that first round. But definitely those first 4 to 5 rounds, I could see him being very even. But Benavidez is one of the best power punchers in boxing, and he loves taking those great those body shots. That's gonna hurt Plant a lot. Canelo was doing that to him too, and Benavidez is great at the body shots. Um, like I said, the problem is Benavidez doesn't run around the ring, or he doesn't move around that much, and you might be right when he's trying to cut around the ring. Plant is going to be actually better at positioning. I think he'll be able to, be able to get those cuts. But I do believe when they're close to each other, even when they're in those clinch positions, like I said, Plant will have to be in. I do think that Benavidez is going to have to try to use his right uppercut, try to get himself out of those. That's one thing that I have seen him done in other fights when he's clinched. He'll give you a quick uppercut. The one thing, like I said, Plant, his speed, and also his endurance. We've seen him go to decision many times, and he looks good in those late rounds. He always does. The Canelo fight, yeah, he didn't, but other fights he does. I really think that one thing about him is definitely his endurance is going to have to keep up in this fight. But I just think that with the amount of body shots that Benavidez is going to give you, you're going to be hurt a lot of those rounds. Like I said, I do think Plant is going to fall down one of these times, possibly 6th, 7th round. Then they're going to get back up, get some more energy. He's going to have more energy in him, but Benavidez is just going to keep hitting them with those combos. I actually have this, going into late in the fight, but Benavidez doesn't finish fights. He's a knockout artist, and he likes to knock people out. And I do have this as a technical knockout. I think that the referee is going to stop it. He's going to see too much, too much headshots towards 9th, and then 10th round is where I have it being a technical knockout. They call it right there by Benavidez. he gets that championship.
And
10th round technical knockout.
so you pretty much expect it to be an exact replica of the Canelo fight.
Not exact, but very, very similar. I do think it's going to be very, very close. It's just I do think that Benavidez is going to use a lot more body shots. Canelo was going for his head a lot more. Canelo was definitely going for the head a lot more, but I do think that Benavidez is way, way better at hitting those body strikes.
No, obviously it's a logical choice to pick Benavidez, and I do agree that it's gonna be a tough fight for both fighters. I have to when I look at the style, um, most people would think or agree that the powerful, explosive boxer would be the style to pick, but I just don't think. I think Caleb Plant's in a really good spot right now. A lot of people are underestimating him, and
That
and
that's
I
definitely
just
true.
think I just think he has a lot to
I
offer.
agree with you there. Like they're definitely underestimating him, and you know, a lot of people were underestimating him in that Canelo Alvarez fight, and you saw like he did his part. He looked good.
Mm,
Obviously, he didn't finish it off, but he did look good. Now, I mean, I do think that you know one thing about him is he's had a lot more fights in the last 3 years. He's had 5 fights, whereas David's only had like 3 fights in the last 3 years. So now that's one thing that you're gonna have to look at too. He's been in the ring a lot more rounds in the ring. Like I said, that endurance helps. So that's one thing that is definitely in your favor. I do think that if they make it past that 10th round, I do think that the 11th and 12th round could possibly go, you know, to Plant if they go to decision.
Now, if it 100%, if it doesn't go to decision, I mean, it's going to Benavidez knockout. Um, and that's why I got Plant winning by decision because he's the type of boxer that knows how to game plan for
Hmm.
this.
That's
Um,
true.
so that's why I think if it goes decision, it could be anyone's decision because it'll still be a tough fight. But if it ends early, it definitely ends with Caleb Plant getting knocked out. But I think my man can stop that.
Yeah, yeah. Benavidez though, like when he fought his last fight against David Lemieux, that's where I saw a lot of those him using a lot of those body shots. Like he got so much better in the last 3 years, and his last 3 fights he's been utilizing those a lot more. He's been literally hitting fighters with 30% of all his punches are body shots. So that's pretty incredible. Usually, a lot of guys in the middleweight they go for the head because they're a lot faster. They try to get combinations to the head, but he's a guy that's been working a lot more on his on the body shots lately. So I definitely think that that's going to be a huge key in this fight for him.
100%, 100%. But either way, uh, it is going to be a hell of a match and a great startup to honestly what's going to be a year of boxing. And I actually want to just name a couple of
Oh
those
yeah.
matches that they already have lined
Mhm.
up. So April 1st, coming right up, we got Anthony Joshua versus Jermaine Franklin, heavyweight bout. And that's going to be a great fight. Looking to see Joshua get back on the horse after losing his belt.
Yeah.
And seeing, a lot of people think, once you lose your belt, there's nothing left for you to
Oh,
do. But,
but he wants to get back there. He wants to be back on top. Come on, Joshua. He wanted all those belts, and you telling me he doesn't want to be back as a champion? He does.
exactly. So he's definitely gonna make his rounds or get his fights in and definitely try to move his way back up. End of April, the most awaited fight that everyone's been waiting for, and we're gonna be covering it here. That's Gervonta Davis versus Ryan
Ooh,
Garcia.
that's gonna be a
Mm,
beauty
mm,
right
mm,
there.
mm.
I've been waiting.
I don't know what you could say about that. We already know, like we all
All I
been
can
waiting for
say is
that
I've been
fight.
waiting for a whole year for this fight. So like I've been waiting very long to watch this one. Very excited.
Yes, so you definitely catch that on Showtime at the end of
Hmm.
April. Obviously, if you haven't caught on by now and you don't know, let me be the first to let you know. May 5th is Cinco de Mayo, and there's always one fighter that gets his Cinco de Mayo fight,
Of course, man. You gotta
and that's
have a Mexican fighter on Cinco de Mayo. Come on now, it's a
exactly.
tradition.
So we
It's
are.
tradition.
It's 100% tradition, and Canelo has always been that headliner for the later part of the last decade due to his status.
Hmm.
So undisputed middleweight title, Canelo Alvarez versus John Ryder. That's coming up. Pretty much April. I mean
May
May
6th.
6th, because May 5th is a Saturday or Friday. Right after that, I think in June, they already announced a WBO junior welterweight title match. Josh Taylor between Teofimo Lopez. That right there is about to be
Nice,
a hell of a
nice one.
fight. You already know that's going to be good.
Hmm.
And actually, that was May 6th for Canelo. Before June, we even got Devin Haney versus
Vasily,
Vasily
yeah,
Lomachenko.
Vasily's fighting again.
That actually hasn't been announced yet. That's why I had that
But it's pretty
last.
much in the.
But it's
It's pretty
already done
much
for
done.
May
Yeah, they're
20th.
just there's
Yeah.
trying to get all the details done, but it's pretty much ready to go. They got who he needs to fight, Vasily, and now he's coming back to fight, which is great. Great to watch
Oh
him fight.
yeah. So we got welterweights, middleweight, heavyweights, lightweights. Great fights coming up. A lot more
And of
on the
course,
way.
Usyk
Did see a
and
one. Usyk and Tyson
that
Fury's
is gonna
already in
be.
the works. Can't wait for that. And then we even me and you talked about one of your Bulgarian boys.
Kubrat
Um,
Pulev. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. Most known for he actually had two championship fights to try to get the belt. His last one being against Anthony Joshua. Didn't come came short in both those fights. But he is eyeing a return this year against either Ruiz Jr. or
Dylan
Dylan
White.
White. So whichever opponent it gets chosen, that right there is going to be another heavyweight
Oh yeah, so
showdown.
we're definitely gonna go through
And then
all those fights and each one of them. We're gonna break down for you guys, and let us know if you guys want us to break down some of the undercards on these fights. I know that there's a lot of exciting fighters coming up on these undercards. Uh,
mhm.
Boxing is one thing that when you're early in your career, I'm talking like 18, 19. Yeah, they give you some of those easy matchups, but once you're like 8-0, 9-0, then they start giving you those good matchups. And WBC and the Ring and all these you know all these championships and all these federations, they've been giving you some really good matches this year, and I think this is the year for boxing for sure. So definitely let us know, guys, if you guys want us to talk about any other matchups other than the ones we already told you guys right here. Also, let us know your prediction for this fight right here, David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant, and let's give the people again our predictions. Who you got for this fight again, Melo?
I got Caleb Plant decision.
And I got David Benavidez, and I think it's the 10th round TKO. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oof. We'll see. We'll see. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So, guys, if you're watching, please make sure you click that like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for subscribing, and we love every single one of you guys. Melo, you want to say something real quick?
Yes, definitely. We really love the support. I just want you guys to know a big reason for us putting the website up was just trying to increase our branding because there's so much we want to do to get ourselves involved with everyone. So we got a lot of giveaways coming up. We've got a lot of things coming up for the holidays. We just want to make sure that who you got is known to give back and make sure that we're here for everybody, not just involved in sports. But it's gonna be a big year coming up, man. We got NFL stuff off season coming up soon. We got NBA coming up this week as well as the playoffs coming up for NBA. A bunch of UFC fights coming.
Yeah.
All these boxing fights coming. Towards the tail end of March Madness, we're gonna do a couple more episodes to make sure we cover, especially that Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
So you already know, man. There's gonna be a lot of things coming your way, and we definitely appreciate all the love and support. We've been getting a lot more comments, subscriptions, views, traffic, just in general, and we appreciate it
Oh yeah,
all.
we definitely love the support, and it's definitely gonna be a sports summer, not a cold summer,
Mm.
aka Fab, but a sports summer. Yeah, buddy. But definitely, guys, if you guys want to ask us any of those questions or on any topic, honestly, on the podcast, or if you want us to talk about any podcast, or sorry, any topic on the podcast, go over to Patreon and please check us out there, patreon.com/who you got definitely that's a place to ask us questions or put in a topic that you want us to talk about on the podcast. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode, and we'll see you guys on next episode of Who You Got with
Melo.
and Rado. Peace.
Peace.